Сьогодні дуже цікаві уривки промови мецената Костя Темертея на ювілейному банкеті Українського національного об'єднання Канади в Едмонтоні.
Репортаж про 37-й краєвий з'їзд Українського національного об'єднання, спонсорований Українською кредитовою спілкою. Представлений членом нововибраної краєвої дирекції УНО Славком Борисом, головним доповідачем на бенкеті Українського національного об'єднання був відомий підприємець добродій Кост Темертей, який почав своє слово признанням праці УНО за зусилля останніх 80 років.
Let me join the others who this evening have been congratulating UNO on the astonishing record of accomplishments over the many decades of your existence in this country. Looking at the Canadian-Ukrainian community across the board, one can see that much of what we now take for granted in Canada had its roots in UNO. From consumer cooperatives to credit unions to Ukrainian culture in all its forms, but most notably in dance and choral ensembles. Osseredok, the Ukrainian Cultural and Educational Center in Winnipeg, is still the largest Ukrainian cultural institution of its kind in North America. And who can forgive UNO's role in combating the rise of communism pre-World War II? And I believe UNO was the first organization to promote the notion of multiculturalism in Canada, in contrast with the then more popular expression of biculturalism back in the early 60s. And not resting on your laurels, you have more recently launched the Paul Yuzik Institute for Youth Leadership and Development, which promises to become a terrific resource for the development of Ukrainian Canadian youth across all sectors of Canada.
Пана Темертея просили доторкнути різні теми, які стосуються нашого буття в Канаді. Пан Темертей взяв собі до серця цей обов'язок і, може, задовго, але дуже цікаво доповідав, як збирати гроші на громадські цілі, як зацікавлювати добровольців до праці і, взагалі, чому зберігати в Канаді українську спадщину.
Living in Canada as Ukrainian Canadians, we are enjoying the best of both worlds. We can be fully Canadian and yet have the added color, taste, music, and culture and camaraderie of being Ukrainian. So we are Canadians plus plus. You know, what kind of a life is it anyway that's not rooted in faith, family, culture, traditions, and community? But mind you, we do need to adjust to the changing reality and accommodate the fourth wave, which I think we are doing with various degrees of success in the country. And also not lose, this is a large preoccupation of mine, at least in my mind, not lose the assimilating children of previous waves. Let me start with question number 2, dealing with the subject of fundraising more effectively. This has been a hot button of mine for a long time. The way we are constituted today, we, I say, can't be more effective, if by more effective you mean raise a lot of money. We need to foster an entrepreneurial culture. You know, we are terrific at sending our children to universities. There was a time when George Mikhailiuk, this college friend of mine who helped start the drama club in Montreal, said to me, Jim, did you know which ethnic group in Canada graduated the most university students? My mind went to the Asians and the perhaps the Jewish kids, and he said, no, Ukrainians. So we're very good at that, but they come out as doctors and dentists and lawyers and accountants and notaries and teachers and so on. But we're not very good at graduating entrepreneurs. And show them that you can play in the big time. You know, you can be a Ukrainian Canadian and you can do things like the big time, like the mainstream. And I give credit to Andriy Hladashevsky and the Taras Shevchenko Foundation for what they did in Toronto a number of times now with the Kobzar, the book awards. That's something that has attracted, you know, the Ukrainian literati and glitterati and some mainstream literati and glitterati. That's what you want to do. How do we get people into entrepreneurism? Well, you can start by adding an entrepreneurial component to the Paul Yuzik Institute for Youth Leadership, for instance. Startup Canada. I could put you in touch with people that could give you some ideas of how to do that. But I think that would be a terrific idea. I think this Paul Yuzik Institute for Youth Leadership is just brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's just rife with potential. So you could do something like that. The third question was, what changes in our modus operandi are needed to attract volunteers? Well, I say build a big idea and they will come. But building a big idea needs professional staffing, which takes me back to the point about building capable members of our community, because staffing takes a lot of money, and you're not going to get that money unless you do some serious fundraising. Too often in our community organizations, our leaders are chiefs, chefs, cooks, and bottle washers, and it's just too much. I think it's just too draining and asking too much from the leadership, and eventually, you're going to. That's not healthy. You need professional staffing.